In beauty may I walk, all day long may I walk. Through the returning seasons may I walk. Beautiful will I possess again, beautiful birds, beautiful joyful birds. On the trail marked with pollen may I walk. With grasshoppers about my feet may I walk. With dew about my feet may I walk. With beauty may I walk. One day when I walked down one of the avenues, when for the first time in my entire life, I saw the sun going down. I've seen the sun go down many, many times, but it never meant anything to me. But this particular day, I saw the sun going down, gently disappearing behind the mountain. I stood and I marveled at that. And at that moment, I realized that as the sun goes down, it will surely rise tomorrow. And so the other thoughts that bounced was that truly our Creator is great and is beautiful, that everything that He has created, He created it with a purpose. And so therefore He created me and He created me with a purpose.
My name is Mapuote. I'm 18 years old. I live in Delft. I'm with the Salesians Institute in Capetown. I'm in a workshop and I'm also attending life skills. When I ran away from home, I was 6 years old.
And where did you go?
To the street, asking money to people, and also lying, say our families are dead, things like that, so they would feel ashamed of us.
When you go into that community, there's a sense of helplessness, sense of hopelessness.
Oh?
Within the communities that they come from, there's no real parks, there's no trees, there's no gardens. Everything is just dead and there's no life, there's no other life, there's no nature, there is no nurture. The land does not even heal. They can't align themselves or they can't feel the presence or the energies or the essence of nature. And yet we have to call that home. Where is this coziness, this warmth that is needed to nurture and bring forth strong young people?
My dream. I don't think... Yeah, I had the dream. Now I have goals, things that I just said. My dream was, to go up there, to be the first black man here in Africa, who's an astronaut, things like that, Yeah, but it didn't happen. The youth, there's a lot of them here who doesn't work, who doesn't go to school, just here around. There's a lot of drugs here. Much people, they use main drugs and tech.
Just taking them away from the communities, taking them out of this morass that they find themselves in. We must understand that these young people don't even know where the borders of their communities is, let alone they've never been out of these communities. And therefore, I guess the young people could not feel the healing power of nature. And so therefore, I think the key element in this process of rites of passage or the type of work that I do is to take these young people out of their communities to show them that there is another side to life. I know what wilderness meant to me when I was young, when I had the opportunity to go to Felton Clay. It really impacted my life. Just being out there in the mountains, sitting next to the rivers, listening to the birds. It's in these quiet moments, by being able to sit there and just listen, that you possibly discover that you can also listen to self. In these communities where they come from, they barely afforded the opportunity to listen to self. There's no serenity. Everybody's in everybody's face. The houses are on top of each other. There's no place to give vent. Everything that comes out is anger. Each one of us have dreams and we have visions and what we want to become and we want to be a part of. Initiation is key. Initiation is of old. In many different cultures, there is this process of initiation. Young people want to go through this process. They want to become men. They want to step over a threshold. I always wanted to journey others alongside me because I was in search. And I knew that because I was in search, many other young people were in search. It was a long, hard journey. Every time I needed to go back to my roots. Every time I needed to go in search in terms of who this Coleridge guy was. But every time I went back, I came up with the same things. Coleridge, Samuel, Daniels. Coleridge, Samuel, Daniels. So this is the day that we've been waiting for, I guess. And last week when we spoke, you guys said you're ready. You all indicated we are ready, and perhaps we need to ask again, are you guys ready? And so you got time to think from now till we get close to base camp, whether you really want to be a part of it, and whether you are committed to the process.
This is one opportunity that we're giving you, we're gifting you, where you have an opportunity to do something different with your life. Change. And change is difficult. And this course, in many ways, it's going to be hard. But it's up to you guys to say, hey, I'm there for the challenge, man.
Yeah, I'm up and I'm ready for this camp. Yeah, that's all I can say.
Ik is hier committed voor die kamp, meneer, maar ik is gewillig om het te doen, meneer, man. Want ik weet, het gaat voor mij benefit. Het gaat voor iemand anders benefit, meneer.
I'm ready for the camp, but I don't... The phone would, yeah. Anjonga Pambili, yeah. I don't look forward to many things will be happening in the camp. Yeah. My trust is so very low, maybe 20% trust. That's all I can say.
Trust is not just given. We need to earn it. Yeah? We need to work it. The fact that this group don't really know each other. We don't know each other. We've met twice only, yeah? And it doesn't mean that we know each other. But may this week that lies ahead be the beginning for us as a group. For us as a group to get together and to learn to trust each other and to earn each other's trust.
What we'd like you to do now is just go into the bush over here and find yourself a stick. Don't just pick up any stick, né? Let the stick call you. So the stick is a representation of you. It symbolizes you. And you're on a journey.
And when we go on to this journey, it's like when you pack your suitcase, you pack what it is that you want with you, and everything else you leave behind. So what we're going to do is we're going to find a space for you to stand and face in that direction and cut off with that you have left behind. And so whilst you're standing there, you pick up a stone. And then we're going to place the stones into a circle. And then we're going to pledge to each other. We're going to make a commitment to each other.
Ik kom met mijn groep. Het is amper een sier wat nou opgemaakt wordt. En als een sier moet opgemaakt worden, is mijn spijn voor. Het is mijn sier.
I talk back there with the group about trust. Yeah, I don't trust any of them, but I love them all.
I will try my level best to be there for you. So I commit myself to myself and to the group.
This is the most important piece of equipment. Ne? You see the springs in the mattress? Huh? It's the best mattress you're gonna sleep on. Put it on. Take that one side, the ends on that side. And then pull it down to the ground.
The programs that we run is experiential. It is working outside, working in nature and connecting with nature. I believe that because we are a part of nature, it is important for us to be in nature. Our youth wants to be initiated, and so therefore programs like these needs to be supported. I would even go as far as to say, because of the imbalances between human beings and nature, it is key to bring us humans back to nature, because that is where the learnings lie, that is where the teachings is. In every culture, and especially in the indigenous cultures, people have used nature as a medicine to bring healing to the people. And this is no different to that medicine. In fact, the Four Shields was taught to me by an elder who was taught by an elder from the first people. And so the work is very special. The Four Shields speaks about the four cardinal points, north, south, east, and west, which is similar to the four seasons, summer, autumn, winter, and spring. It's similar to the four stages of life, childhood, adolescent, adulthood, and elderhood. It's part of life's journey. From childhood, you have to step into adolescent phase. And from the adolescent phase, you need to step into the adult phase. And from the adult phase, you need to step into the elder phase. The one gives way for the other.
So now you are firefighters, so we must get in the van. Let's go.
Careful, be careful now. Don't break the neck. How close? Don't break the leg.
We must first plan, is this going to be right or is this going to be wrong? No, you must make a decision. It's also a choice, you know.
So often, we just wake up in the morning and we launch ourselves into our life. We're not qualified to lead our own lives. We haven't prepared ourselves We haven't planned for our life ahead.
Every tool, everything we say, everything we do, there's a reason behind it. And so you can either take it with you or you can leave it behind and continue on your journey forward and blame and not plan. So we're going to move from here now. You pick up your journals. It's going to be important for you to bring with your journals. And we're going to walk to that side of the copy, on that side there. Many of the young people that I work with try to forget about their childhood because it's rather painful. But in order to journey forward, you need to deal with it. Otherwise, you walk with that pain upon your shoulders. Like many young people or many adults today are still in the realm of their painful childhood, and they haven't severed and they haven't let go. And therefore, they simply struggle to deal with adulthood. And so when you're a child, doesn't mean when you finish with your childhood that you need to leave the child behind. If we want to sever and we want to cut the borders, we need to take something with us. And it will be good to go back into our childhood, to go and look at all the good things that has happened to us. And perhaps this morning we want to encourage you to step out onto the land, for you to go and find that child, to go and speak to that child, to ask the child, am I still happy? And sometimes we're scared to go there because there's so much shit there. But I want to encourage you to pass that. Try and find that child, because somewhere along that life's journey, there was a moment or two or three or four where that child smiled, where that child was happy. And so we're going to open the circle now. And we're going to call upon those stories to come out. And also those stories is our cornerstone, yeah? Remember we said, it is the cornerstone of who we are. It is the anchor of who we are.
My happiest moment, is when my grandfather was living, when I was young. He always supported me, in everything.
Die sou se ook nou van my weggesteek. Toe by Roosendaal, die paard saamgery. En daar so het hy van my, ja, hy het net van my afgesien. Toe ek lekker zeg hy. En ek het nooit weer my pa en my ma gesien. Tot nou toe.
Maybe, what can I say? I'm not like all my life I didn't have a birthday party. And big. I didn't have a birthday party. Yeah, I didn't have friends too. All my life, my first friend, it was Eric. Yeah, and the first Open Mandela Park. Yeah, he's my only first friend that I met. That's all. Birthday parties, presents.
And so we listen to the stories. We listen to our cornerstones, our foundations, our anchors. It's supposed to be happy moments. Stories. And so sometimes life has beaten us, battered us, badgered us. And so we don't want to go into a place that doesn't heal, that doesn't bring forth good stories. But it is a story. And so perhaps this time together mirrors back to us and shows to us that it's not only you that sit in that place, but there is others that shares that same space and place with you in terms of not having a story. So it's this time that's important for each other, because we lay ourselves bare in front of each other. Take this moment that we are together and let this become a huge story, so that one day when you sit in other circles, you would be able to share the story and bring joy to the lives of others.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Vincent. Happy birthday to you.
This is the first time and the last time in my life I blew a cake.
This afternoon you shared your story with us. And I think your story impacted everybody. And when you shared with us that you've never ever had a birthday in your life, and the fact that you also said that you didn't have a friend, and the only friend that you discovered was one amongst this group. We want to say to you tonight that we are your friends. We're standing on the edge of becoming adults, each one of us. And in order to take on that full responsibility of adulthood, we need to let go. It's like we are followed by a dark shadow, a shadow that brings no light. You know, the amazing part about nature, it teaches us continuously. When the sun comes up in the east, it has to go down in the west. When it goes down in the west, it rises again in the east. And so is the journey of life. In order to see light, we need to go through darkness. And so part of this activity right now is to prepare you to do battle.
And this activity is called a warrior walk. And when a young man was ready to become a warrior, the elder would take them out into the field and start training them. And that's what we're going to do with you now. So what we'd like everybody to do is take your shoes off. I just want you guys to be still for a minute. And I want you to focus, to squeeze your toes down into the earth, the land that you were born on. You're not born in Europe, you're not born in South America, you were born in Africa, you're an African. When the young warrior was taken by the elder into the bush, they would teach him how to walk. Walk like a warrior. When you step with your heel first, and you feel with your foot. And then you step.
When the warrior goes out to do battle or to prepare himself for battle, he travels light. We're going to ask you to start taking off your tops. Mabuti. Jonga. Jonga, Mabuti. Jonga. Often our young are caught up in gangsterism, our young are caught up in drugs, because they want to feel the fire burn inside. I think it's a period of testing they want to be part of. They often go through their own processes amongst their peers. And so they often want to be initiated by their peers. One major part of the program is to help youth to cross over the threshold of adolescence into adulthood so that they can become mature adults, strong adults, real adults. But in order to be a true adult, you need to be initiated into that process. And so initiation is crucial. It helps young people to cross the threshold. I guess everybody at one stage or other wants to know who they are. I come out of a very good family, where the family values was in tune and intact and in a beautiful community in itself. But that question was always on my mind because somehow I was different. My name is different to every other child's name. You know, I had this name, Coleridge, and everybody would ask, where does this name come from, Coleridge? And I didn't understand the name itself, and I guess my grandfather gave me that name. But just having the name, I didn't know who I was. And I had that deep inner yearning of wanting to understand who I was. I think it was around about 15, 16, when something happened. And I had to apply for my ID document. They couldn't understand how I could possibly be colored. They needed to find out exactly from where I come from. Am I really a colored or am I black? I still have this picture of this young white man with his little pencil tie set in front of me. And I was basically tortured in this room. I was dehumanized. Speaking about it kind of almost, it saddens me because I committed no crime. It was just the color of my skin, I guess. And so they wanted to reclassify me. I think they wanted to strip me from who I was. Felt the texture of my hair, took the size of my nose. Quite fearful, I guess. And everything he asked me in English, I could answer. Everything he asked me in Afrikaans, I could answer. Because that was my mother tongue, I guess. And then after a while, he allowed us to go. We left. But it sat in me, you know, I was fearful. It must have been a couple of months after that I received my identification document. And this was different to my family's. On my card was other colored. That young man that sat opposite me decided that I was other colored. And again, that question rose, you know, who am I? Who the fuck am I? I'm a nothing then, because somebody else decides my fate in terms of who I am. So this afternoon, we're going to afford you the opportunity to go into your West. To stir the shit that needs to be stirred inside of you. To acknowledge that it is there and to say to it, I'm letting you go. And so when we started, we said to each one of you, find a stick. The stick will become your symbol in this process. And in order for us to see the beauty of the stick, I guess we'll have to peel the layers of the stick. And whilst you are doing that, you'll do a due process. You'll also go into yourself. We're going to bring back the bark. And the bark would resemble the issues that you are dealing with. And then we'll have a ceremony like when we die. We're going to bury and let it go. Or we're going to burn and let it go. So then when we finish with what we have done, we know that we have dealt with what we needed to have dealt with. And so that we could see this child in front of us. And so that we would be able to engage with this child once again. And allow this child to be part of our knapsack or our backpack. So that wherever we journey with a child that's not wounded, but the child that is healed. Bring me, man. Dit is wel iets dan doen ze met de lem. Kijk eens, ik scheer als kies van met de lem. Zie je? Dat je hem nou, zie je? Ja, iets om dier te zijn. Zie je? It's alright, even as I handle op elkaar lang vat. We forgot the gift of life. We forgot the meaning of the gift of life. I guess they are in the same place that I was when I was a child. I guess I wanted to know who I was. And I guess through the process of life, of my own journey, there were those fleeting moments that I had a sense of who I was and what my purpose was. Through that same process, I discovered what my gifts was. I discovered that my purpose on this earth was to share who I was, to share the very core of who I am. I think only in the latter part of my life, I discovered truly who I was through the gifts that I bear for this world. And that's the greatest gift, which is love. I love unconditionally. Be you white, black, pink, green. Be you shaped as whatever you are shaped, whoever you are shaped, or whatever the shape or form you are. You're a part of this universe. You've also been sent into this world with a purpose. We did a lot of work in the south, the shield of the child. Part of that was to go in there, to go and search for that child. Amidst all the shadow and the darkness of the west, you brought that child along. And so it's important to complete the journey, yeah? It's important to take the journey from the west to the north. The place of a man, the place of an adult, the place of responsibility. In order to become a man, you need to go in search of your pawaka. You need to go and search for your gift. If the question is still there in terms of who am I, it is time for you to go out and find out who you are. Allow this child to come out. Put the child in front of you. Talk to the child. Sing to the child. Dance for the child. Do whatever you want to do with the child. You will remain in your place for the whole of today, for the whole of tonight, and you will come back tomorrow morning when the whistle blows. Search. It's a different war happening out there now. We're losing our youth. There's a sense of lawlessness. There's a sense of not belonging. There's no sense of generosity. And so the scars of yesteryear still continues, I guess. And I guess like our parents feared during the times of the riots, we as parents today fear for our young because they are being swallowed in. When we speak to our young people, they say they want to be free. They don't want to be controlled. They don't want to be guided. There's so many things that draw them. All the negative things, all the negative energies that's vying around, it's impacting our young people. Children ain't children anymore. In fact, they don't want to be children anymore. They don't want to journey the journey of the four shields of human nature. That we've lost sight of the process from childhood to adolescence. We've lost sight of the process of adolescent into adulthood. We've even lost the plight of adulthood into elderhood. We've got scant respect for our elders. They're no longer in our society. And yet they are those who have gone before us, that has walked, I guess, this journey, that has walked life. Who better can inform us about life than those who have gone before? You went out onto the land, you did what you had to do in terms of your solo. Spent a long time out there. It wasn't easy. You came back with a vision. You came back with a dream. So, as you know, the journey inside wasn't easy. So will the journey be when you cross this threshold and you walk back. It's not going to be easy. Nothing is going to be easy. This is only but the beginning of something new. These young men is done well. I think through this process, they have articulated their vision to each other. They've got dreams. They want to achieve something in life. They know that they are unique and that they are beautiful. But the saddest part is, however, they need to go back to their communities. And the very communities that they came from is the communities that has disappointed them. But I believe because they are strong, they've done what they had to do. And so when they start journeying on the yellow brick road, going back, walking back, they will walk with grace, I'm sure. But what will be key in this process is support. It's going home time, no? They call it the yellow brick road. So part of the circle was you went into your childhood. You went to go search. You opened up the can of worms. You looked what was good and you looked at what was bad. What was good, you were willing to journey with. What was bad, you were willing to leave behind. We've been midwives to you all and witnessing how you were going through this metamorphosis of change. And so we honor you, we want to give it back to you, that each one of you have gold inside. You guys went out, you visioned, you dreamed. You stood in the place of an adult. You went out alone on a solo. The fear that you came with eluded you in the mountains. You became one with the earth. You felt comfortable. You saw things on the land, and the land was good, which means that the work has been done. When you go back alert, and still fear the world out there. But remember, love nature. Love what is good. Reject what is bad. Let it go. It's not a part of you because it will shake your very foundation if you step back into that place. Thank you. You've done what you had to do.
Voor mij, meneer, is het nog om uit te vinden wie ik is, meneer. En wat is mijn doel in die leven? Wat ik ook, meneer, soos my sussie sal like om more en more te travel. Nie net hier nie, meneer. Op ander kamp ook, meneer. En gaan uitvinden by mense. Wat is leven, alles van?
I must learn a lot, yeah, in life. Yeah. But there's so many things to think about. Yeah, who I am. There's so many things. Yeah. I could write this book full, yeah, by explaining myself.
Am I a person who likes to judge what other people do? Am I a person who likes to say, you will never be better than me? Am I a person who likes to say, you will never make it? Do I believe in myself? Do I trust myself on what I do in my life? Do I love myself? Do I pretend myself that I am a good person? Am I a learner or a destroyer? All I want to say is, guys, those are just feelings. They were meant to be. And guys, do the best of you. No matter what people say, that's all.
Often we want to categorize our youth. We want to call them youth at risk. And we want to call them not so much at risk or not at risk at all. All our youth are at risk. It seems as if the world is opening up and it just wants to swallow them in. Temptations are huge. I believe that each one of them has potential to become the best. And in order to become the best, you need to know who you are. You need to understand your purpose on this earth. And you need to know that life is a journey. And part of this journey is to reach your true potential. Be it a long life or a short life. Your very presence in this world is for you to deliver your gift.
You know, I feel better now, because now I have some chances, things that I have to fix. And it was very tough, to go back. Yeah, but I did it. And I got nothing bad, only good. I've learned from that also. From my happy moments, not from the bad ones. Coleridge Daniels is a good man, it helps the youth from the gangs, things like that, robbing and sleeping on the streets. He gives them good things, advice, they mustn't go that way. Yeah, that's what I love about this work. Why do I have to dance? No, but always I'm going to give you. I would like to I went to a camp, learn, about myself. And you guys should also know ask yourselves about yourselves,
Nou, hoe lang was jy op die campus service?
It was for 8 days. I've learned about myself and about my inner child, what impacted me, what was affecting me, about those things. I've learned about that. Yeah.
So I see now that you have changed a lot. Do you think there are any changes that you can make here in the community?
Yes, there could be changes that I could make, but I would need some help, because, just to do something, you need some people who can sponsor you to make a building or for the things to rent a hall, and speak, about what we have learned from this life, telling the youth, they mustn't go the same way that you have been, that would be good. Making money on the street and pushing my move all over SA, carrying this hip hop on the street. I don't wanna make you happy, but make your move and show me what you got, yo, underground soldier.
I'm flowing like a Mickey Mouse and I'm chilling with these chicks in this house. We're drinking whiskey white on them dance floor. We're puffing marijuana to take the stress off the life that I'm living and things that I'm happening. Just right there.
But we have to make it.
I will endeavor to do this work continuously, to bring young people into the wilderness, to help them discover, to help them find themselves. I pledge this. I want to do this. I need to do this. It's important. If we don't do this, we will lose our future.